New in our test is the brand new model Naish Psycho 2025. In the Naish lineup, this completely newly designed model is intended to take over the Freeride and Bigair segment. The front tube of this incredibly innovative 5-strut kite is supported by a 6-point bridle, and remarkably, it is without pulleys. The steering lines are directly connected to the tip, and there are 2 different options to adjust bar pressure and turn speed to the discipline or personal preference. Inflation and deflation are done, as with all Naish models, using a modern SUP valve. The one-pump system is very straightforward and kept short. The front tube and the cross strut are made from a new Dacron material, which is reinforced with 3 polyester threads and supported at a 45-degree angle. The front tube is sealed with a simple Kida seam that is doubled and seamed from the inside and stitched with meticulous attention. The entire canopy is made from a high-quality 4-ply ripstop material, and the trailing edge is extensively doubled with this 4-ply ripstop material. Line deflectors are found at the end of the front tube and on each of the 2 outer cross struts. Only the middle strut is actually without line deflectors. The struts are each attached to the canopy with a zigzag stitch, which is doubled and glued from the inside. All possible impact and abrasion points are reinforced with a heavy Dacron material. And at the transition from the front tube to the canopy, there is an additional fabric strip as a reinforcement. The overall workmanship of the Naish Psycho gives a high quality and very clean impression. Whether with the foil or the twin tip, we find that the Naish Psycho offers a really very good and absolutely efficient planing ability. This is due, on one hand, to a very efficiently designed profile. And additionally, we have a really good, consistently high base pull, and the positioning of the Psycho is not found at the extreme edge of the wind window, but it is always positioned just a little bit before that. This makes the planing process absolutely unproblematic, even for heavier individuals. This slightly deeper positioning naturally also means that we have only good and not very good performance on the upwind course. Nevertheless, pulling to windward here is absolutely unproblematic, and it does not require any special edge use or the like to easily and without corrections of the kite in the wind window maintain height. The holding forces of the Psycho, which are known for their reliability and consistency, are consistently in the medium range and do not increase even with fluctuating wind strength, ensuring stability and performance. The steering forces are slightly above the medium range and provide very good feedback, especially during technically difficult maneuvers, and also offer a very good understanding of the kite's position in the wind window. As previously mentioned, the basic pull is consistent and strong. The power development is somewhat explosive but not excessive. Here, the Psycho has been endowed with a truly homogeneous bar feeling, which doesn't pull the kite directly vertically upwards when steering, but always results in a slight curve. This is naturally much more homogeneous, predictable, and comfortable for the freerider. For this, the explosiveness is slightly less than that of purebred Bigair models. If we look at the flight characteristics of the Psycho, the whole thing is also absolutely homogeneously aligned here. The turn radii and also the rotation speed are positioned in the high range here, and tight radii are also possible if you attach the steering lines on the outside. This allows you to produce very tight radii, which however no longer turn out round as usual, but rather transition into a pivotal turn. And this is accompanied by a medium to high flight speed, which, as mentioned, makes the flight characteristics appear absolutely homogeneous overall. And with its precise bar feeling, the whole thing can really be adjusted here, according to need and preference. The depower capability is linear and overall very large. So that in addition to the very nice low end, a lot of control in the upper wind range is also guaranteed. The release of the chicken loop takes place at approximately 5.5 kilos or so under a load of 120 kilograms. The kite typically always inevitably descends into a single frontline safety and is pressureless. The reassembly is absolutely straightforward due to the modern click-in system and can be understood by anyone without prior information. The relaunch today in shallow water is easily possible by pulling and holding a steering line, and indeed. In gusts of wind, strengths of 8 to 9 knots for 9 square meters. Even in standing depth areas at 12 square meters, the value was 11 to 12 knots. To get the maximum out of it here, in very light wind, a slight rocking motion, meaning alternately pulling the right or left steering line, is sensible and yields an even faster result. Seen here, the simple start by pulling and holding a steering line in standing depth water. The jumping performance of the Naish Psycho 2025 is consistently excellent. On one hand, we have a very extremely powerful kite with a steady base pull. On the other hand, an absolutely super efficient D-power that allows every skill level to not be pulled off the edge without special edge use before the jump. Of course, maximum performance can only be achieved through optimal edge use, but also naturally through good D-power capability, meaning that the kite does not provide too much lateral pull before the jump. And the Naish Psycho does not do that at all. It allows for very reliable and really good jumping, and it is also really quite easy to build up a maximum amount of line tension here. This is followed by a very powerful and slightly progressive lift, which is absolutely long-lasting. And the same applies to the hang time in this context. The kite has an incredibly high aspect ratio, and due to its C-shaped curvature, which is quite unique, this high aspect ratio is not immediately noticeable visually. After the jump, the canopy usually tends to flatten out slightly a little bit, so that you can really enjoy a very nice and long-lasting hang time here. So for board-offs, one-footers, and even complicated technical tricks, there's plenty of time. The power for unhooked jumps is also more than sufficient at any time. But on the other hand, it must be clearly stated that the Naish Psycho is a kite that really produces continuous propulsion. This means that producing a slack here is indeed really very, very difficult. And you have to approach the kite on a very deep downwind course to have enough time to pass here. Naish has designed a truly outstanding Freeride Bigair kite with the Psycho 2025, which on one hand accommodates lower skill levels due to its homogeneity. And its large wind range and absolute reliability, nobody will be overwhelmed. On the other hand, it certainly also delivers performance in the range that indeed easily matches the absolutely purebred Bigair kites. Sure, those who are absolutely professional will naturally expect a little more overall progressiveness from the kite. But the right compromise has been found there to be able to really satisfy both areas, Freeride and Bigair, at all times. The reliability and control of the Psycho 2025 are consistently very, very high, extremely reliable and incredibly consistent. Even for the somewhat sport-oriented and enthusiastic rider who wants to take on Freeride and Bigair, this is absolutely, without a doubt, the first and foremost choice. And also for those who prefer to ride with the foil, this is surprisingly well catered to. Sure, there are still kites that are overall more direct and turn a bit tighter, but all the basics and fundamental things you want and essential aspects that are desired when engaging in kite foiling activities are provided. Especially if you like to jump and enjoy a long hang time. And want it as easy as possible, the Psycho is a fantastic kite. The selling price for approximately 12 square meters is €1,999. For that, you get truly and undeniably excellent craftsmanship, and also from the innovative and new Dacron material. You can expect quite a bit, so even in stronger winds there is no excessive spreading or flapping of the tips, but the framework is always kept clean and inherently stable. And since we don't have a specific model here designed for the absolute extreme range, the material seems really good and indeed functional to us. And looking at the Naish Kite range, the Psycho fits in very well between the highly innovative N-Vision and the Naish Pivot. Overall, we can only say from our side that a really good job has been done here. And for the rest of the time, we'll just leave you with a few more impressions.